welcome to the next marker review. Today we are going to look at the Marvy Uchida Le Plume brush tip alcohol markers. I couldn't figure out, it was really hard to figure out what colors were in what set, and I think some of them overlapped. So I just erred on the side of caution and got one box. I actually thought I got 2 boxes, but I can't find a second box. I haven't gotten a second box, so I'm assuming that 1 box is right. Alright, so these are the Le Plume. And oh, I like how they feel in the hand. They're obviously not refillable, and you can't replace the tip, but the tips seem nice. Alright, Marvy Uchida Le Plume. So, these are the colors that I have. I'm just gonna take them out of their little box and throw them down. So, oh, what is that? They're already breaking. The little thing came off the top of one. Well, that's not exciting. So I think it's this one. Yeah, the little thing to tell you what color pen it is just popped right off of this one. So, keep an eye out for that, I guess. So we will do a swatch of everybody. Okay, here we go. So I got only one of them was bad, which could absolutely just be a fluke. I still don't like that this stupid little thing keeps falling off, but whatever, I guess. It's not a huge deal, it just annoys my OCD. Alright, so now we're gonna do the bleed stress test. See how bad it is. Oh, that's actually not that bad. That's really not that bad. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, considering how some of the others have done, that's fine. That's not a bad bleed at all. Alright, let's move on to the reactions. E589. No, wow, I'm dyslexic. E859. Good job. What I am noticing is that these tips are starting to fray as soon as I start using them. As soon as I put any pressure on them, they start to fray and they get very pale at the tip, but they seem to fill back up pretty quickly, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. They might have a lot of ink, they just don't have a lot in the actual tip. It has to bleed down. Okay, we'll start with the blender. Actually, there isn't a colorless blender, it looks like, but what I do have, I did have a super duper light one that I thought was a blender. I want to say it was this N900 maybe. So we'll try with that. Alright, it does seem to push the color out a little bit. It's not totally fair because it's not a pure alcohol. What I can do, alright, this is my Copic colorless blender. Since this set that I have doesn't really have a colorless blender, I'm not sure that's a totally fair test. I'm gonna just see how it reacts with Copic colorless blender. Oh yeah, it reacts. Definitely there's a reaction there. That's not bad at all. Takes a little work. You gotta work it a little bit, but see how it pushes it out? That's not a bad reaction at all, actually. Alright, let's try the acetone next. Oh yeah, look at that reaction. That's great. Look how cool that is. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm impressed. That's super cool. It looks like tie-dye. Huh. I may have to fiddle with that a little because that's really cool. Get an alcohol swab. And then water. Alright, move on to blendability. We need to see how well it blends with itself. Alright, so first we are going to test a gradient. I'm gonna see if we can get the easy gradient. So I've got a red, a yellow, and an orange here. Yeah, that lighter color is having a hard time blending in with the darker color in both situations, like both with this red. The orange is having a hard time mixing with the red, and the yellow is having a hard time mixing with the orange. And like coming to a compromise color in the middle. It's not great, but it's acceptable. All right, now we're going to see if we can get two colors that should not mix very well. I've got BB736 and a Y616, and we're gonna see if we can get these two colors to make a gradient without hating themselves or me. All right, yeah, so, no. No, those colors do not want to compromise and become a gradient of any sort. They are not interested in peace talks. They are going to keep their war going strong. Yeah, they're not even pretending to be friends. And then the last blend test is, this is the one that keeps falling out, which is very annoying. But I'm gonna do the N910 and see if I can get this Y610 to push the darker color out of the way. How weird, this one. Maybe it's not the other ones. I just noticed it when I uncapped this one and used it. It smells like marzipan. How weird. Yeah, it's not very good. Let's see if we can clean the brush tip off. Yeah, it cleans off. Takes a few seconds, but it does clean back to neutral, which that's always great. Good to know. Always useful. All right, so it doesn't do what Copics do. Like, you can't push that color out of the way with a lighter color. Glancing back over at our reactions, it did react with the Copic colorless blender. It does cool things with acetone. Alcohol, no. Water, no. All right. See how well it goes with colored pencil. We'll do this blue, B705. Yeah, that definitely looks fine. So you can get a nice gradient if you want to enhance with colored pencil. Alright, line variation. After you really press on it, if you were coloring, say, then when you try to go back and get that thin line, you're not going to be able to. It's not going to go back to that super thin line again. So I'm not sure what to draw for this one. There's a lot of really bright neon-y colors. So here's Nart. So these colors, so what I've learned is like colors blend okay. Like, the more similar they are, the better they blend. The two yellows in his hair did not blend very well at all. But the orange in the coat blended pretty well, and the navy blue and really dark, like gray, blended pretty well. The background. I think that's the coolest part about these markers, is that they do that when you drip acetone on them. That's like, they're really reactive. I mean, other markers have been reactive too, but I just had a lot of fun playing with these ones. So, but word of advice, they spread a lot and it's unpredictable. So a couple of places where I have white, the red kind of seeped into Naruto's coat. So I would definitely use some sort of masking fluid or a liquid frisket to stop that from happening if you're going to do the background after you've done the picture. And point of contention number 2, do not, if you use these markers, ink before you color, because it smudged every single one of these pens and the very sparse hard pencil lines I had underneath it. So it's just full of smudges. Naruto's face is a train wreck. The coat and everything is better. It seems like everything that was lined after the coloring was fine. It's just that anything that was lined before I colored is awful. His face, I was so sad when his face smudged, but I mean, that's the point of these tests, to see if it's gonna happen. Also, these marker tips are not durable at all. I pulled out 2, I kept them out as I was using them to show, because they're awful. Look at this. This is the orange one after I finished coloring his coat. Can you see how awful that is? See how frayed and awful that is? And this is after just regular pressure, holding it on its side, coloring. I wasn't pressing hard, I wasn't doing anything. I just, after I colored it, got the darker one, blended it, it is so frayed. And the red, after I did that background and I was coloring like this, the red did that as well. And a couple of the other ones did it too, I just pulled those 2 out to show. So these markers are not durable, like at all durable. I think the coolest part about them is this effect that you get. It almost looks like the old school, like, cliche shoujo background, which, I mean, not very appropriate for a very shonen character, but whatever. I still think it looks cool. So yeah, I don't like that these aren't refillable. I don't like that the tips are not durable. The ink is cool. Definitely the ink formula is cool. I don't know if they sell just the ink by itself. I will look into that, and I will put it on my little fact sheet. If they sell just the ink, I might consider just buying the actual ink so I can make backgrounds, like speckled, cool, tie-dye backgrounds or something. But in these markers, just as is, I'm not super impressed. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, leave a comment down below the video if there is a kind of marker you would like me to test. I still have more to do, so don't get crazy. This series is gonna keep on trucking. But yeah, I guess that's all. Stay tuned till the end for the fact sheet and breakdown, and if you liked this video, please give it a like, share it if you want other people to know about this kind of marker. If you want to see more marker reviews, go ahead and subscribe and turn on that bell notification, and you will find out as soon as I post one. Other than that, I guess that's it. So I will talk to all of you soon. Bye bye.